So first off, this is Groove Sweet Jax. I'm gonna move his mic a little bit more. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I it's like I see him, but I don't see him. I just want to make sure. There you go. If you sit up like that, you be good.
Yeah, let me sit
just
up.
Move up a little bit.
I'm hunched over right now. I got bad posture. All right, let me get myself together.
All right, so
here.
we good,
there
man.
We go. And then put the mic on the right. There we go.
Yeah, we got to see my man. AMP.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn the cap backwards. So
go for it, man.
There we go.
Yeah, we here, man. We rocking.
What's up, good people?
Yeah, man. Groove Sweet Jax. What's happening? It's Mr. Al Pete, man. Groove Sweet Podcast. Thank y'all so much for always listening. We are here with a good brother of mine, man. Good brother. Known him for a great long time. We will be exposing some of these stories in the midst of this interview. But overall, I definitely, I've always admired this brother. Quick story, introduction or whatever. It was a while. School. We graduated from school. You came out before me, and I don't even think I saw you after you left school, but we did like a band reunion. We was having practice or whatnot, and I remember, I don't know who it was, but they came to the car. I was sitting in the car doing something, and they tapped on my window and was like, "Man, like you heard that? You heard it was on some like, what's up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute." And it was like, "Man, you heard that Amp CD?" And I was like, "Amp." And it was like, "Yeah, Amp Webster." And I was like, "What?" So then I forgot who it was. They gave me the CD, and it was your the first disc that you had. It was like 5 or 6 songs on there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
EP.
The EP, yeah.
Prelude, sequel to My Last Breath or something. Prelude or sequel to My Last Breath, something like that.
Yeah. So I got that CD and I listened to it. I remember I called my best friend Cheryl. Shouts out to Shaletta. I called him, was like, "Man," I said, "Man, this dude's music is like great." Cause you go through like the 2000s, so we went through the 2000 era,
right?
And it wasn't really too many people that I knew of in Jacksonville that was rapping to that degree. But it was, the music that I heard from you was so I could relate to it. And it felt good to know that it was a person that I knew that came with that music. And it was just great, man. It was just great, man. And I remember hearing, I was just like, oh my God, like I'm an instant fan. And I knew we rapped in high school and stuff like that.
I was about to say, man, like really?
I mean,
my very first experience rapping, you was a part of that. Like you were the very first group. I want to say it was Dangerous Minds. Well, we evolved into Dangerous Minds, but then it was like my senior year, and I believe it was you, Terrence Brisbane, which his name then was Shot Record. And he's a pastor now. Shout out Pastor Shot Record.
Shout out to Brisbane.
And I think it was you, Brisbane, and Al Burton. Was that the group, or was it?
I know. I remember that.
Cause y'all
Nick was in the midst of the rapping too, for sure.
Because what happened was it was an event or a party or a talent show or something, and you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And then I was there when they were practicing. And first time ever writing a real song, they was like, man, I'm listening to them. I'm over their house chilling. But I'm like, I can do that, And I just wrote me a verse. And I rapped it for them off the beat that they were doing. And they just paused like, nigga. like, nigga, you just wrote that? Like, you cold. And it's like, yeah. And I realized it came to me somewhat easy.
Yeah.
And so that was really what made me take it serious. Like, hey, maybe I can rap for real. You know?
So that was the first. That was
right. And then it was still fun. I didn't take it serious as trying to do it, but it was just like, I guess I can rap, but I just never pursued it.
Wow.
Very first experience, this goes way back. I got a cousin Chuck, man. A lot of my raps and songs, I tell stories about my family. So I had a cousin Chuck. And he was like the older of the boy cousins.
Yeah.
And so with my family, man, my grandma right over there off 13th and Moncrief, shout out 13th and Moncrief, is a store they call Flint Stove. So my grandma grew up her house was 2 blocks from 13th and Moncrief.
Wow.
100 house on the corner. Then the next 2 houses were her house. My aunt stayed in one, my grandma stayed in the other. So my aunt had about 3 sons. All of us were close in age, and my other aunt, Chuck. Then a lot of the cousins, we would go hang out, spend the night over there. Mm-hmm. So that's where, my dad, he was a pastor, so my household was a little bit different. Mm-hmm. He gave us freedom, but couldn't watch Yo-Yo on TV raps and all. Like, he was real old school, man. I don't think we even had cable most of the year. He was tight-fisted on money, like Jordans and school shopping, man. I ain't get that,
Yeah.
So, long story short, that's why I would go to watch rap, and my cousin Chuck be playing in the NWA. That's where I first heard NWA, 2 Live Crew. That's where I was exposed to all that. So long story short, he used to put me and all our cousins against each other, and we would battle rap.
Okay.
At a young age, like just battle rap, but it was just fun, So that's where I kind of just learned how to rhyme, but I never knew I could actually rap, and that was like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Then in high school, that was my next experience. When you missed that show, I wrote that verse, and they were like, wow. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, so I appreciate you, man. I'm humbled that you would consider yourself a fan, knowing that you were instrumental in me even starting down this path.
It's an honor to, to play that role, and actually didn't even know, but nevertheless, man, like the pen is like crazy, sir. Like the pen is crazy. I just remember, I'm telling you, I remember that shit like it was day one, like yesterday when they got that CD, and I was just like, yo, I'm riding with this, man. And then you came out with the second CD with Q45.
That was actually the 3rd one, but the second one we really didn't push a whole lot.
Oh, so I'm missing one.
Yeah, so you got one. So you missing one.
Whoa, that's crazy.
What's the title of the second one? Oh my goodness, I remember the artwork for it, but I cannot think of the name of it. But just to give a little more background, the first one was put out. I had a business partner, our CEO. We started our own label. Shout out to Al Thorne Moultrie. We started Royalty Music. And so, he invested and gave me an opportunity to record my first EP and kind of get a little buzz going on the ground on the music. So, we made a nice little run. We did a few things because I was still kind of ghost writing at that time as far as my label network wise, but they wouldn't take me serious as an artist myself. It was like they respected my craft, but I would get sent opportunities to write for some of their B-list clients and a few A-list artists. A few that comes to mind that were hot around that time. Lil Kim, Twister, those type artists, I had a chance to write some hooks for them. I did not write their raps. They can rap on their own, but I did help write some hooks and format song type ideas and concepts for them. So that was my first experience to network with the industry wise and A&Rs and all of that stuff. And so my business partner, Al Thorne, and we could call him Thone. So Thone saw the network and the rapport I now had with these A&Rs from major labels. He was like, man, Jacksonville, you can call the A&R from Atlantic on the phone. You can call Bad Boy A&R on the phone. Like, y'all got each other's phone number. We need to bring them to Jacksonville and kind of create opportunities for artists. So we've always been in the mindset of how can we get this in Jacksonville? So we began a showcase out there at the beach, where we had artists performing at the showcase, and then the cream of the crop would have an opportunity where we would, Al Thorne, he put up his money. We would fly the A&Rs to Jacksonville, and they requested to stay on the beach. So in a nice hotel, bring them to the showcase to see you perform live. You got an opportunity to talk to them, get feedback, all that stuff, and if you perform well, they would take you to talk with the labels or whoever to make those opportunities. So that was unheard of at that time. And we had for each genre, rock, hip hop, all that stuff, man. So great opportunity, man. Good
I remember that, man. I remember that. It was at that theater out there too.
Atlantic theater.
Yep, I remember that, man. Wow, that's crazy. And then. Yes, I'm missing the CD. I gotta remember
the name of it, man. Listen, it's so crazy as an artist. Like people, I forget my lyrics, I forget my songs. It's almost like I do it at the moment, and it's on to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
it's totally understood on that part. Yeah, but I know that this, and then so we'll say the CD that came out with I don't remember that one, the Q45 joint where he hosted. It was an album to me. But nevertheless, I was like, man, this guy. I was like, my guy is like killing it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and so. Yeah. Nevertheless, this is that was a long ass intro, but nevertheless, this is AMP everybody. So, AMP.
We still on the intro. Oh my God.
Well, we just well, we done now. So, but man, yeah. So, like I said, it wasn't. We don't have no formality on this, brother.
Okay.
I just wanted to get you in here because one, I love the conversations we have, and I think we need to have formal conversations like this. When I say formal, meaning on a platform outside of just kicking it on the curb or whatever.
Right.
Like this need to be something that everybody needs to hear. And you have a very great body of project that just came out April 20th.
Yes, sir.
And it's called Son of a Preacherman. If you haven't heard it, go to all your platforms and please listen to it. Share it with your folks. I've been sharing like crazy on Twitter, and
I got to get on that platform.
Yeah, but it's just a great body of work, man.
Thank you, man.
I didn't expect anything less. I remember the first time I saw you online saying that album was coming. Because let me tell you,
a long time ago. It was been a minute when I first posted it.
It was it might have been like 3 weeks prior to because it was.
I stopped posting after a while.
I was scrolling and I saw like he was doing like a photo shoot.
Okay.
And it was like he was sitting in the chair and he was like, I'm coming. So I was like, oh, okay. But then when I saw the date, I was like, damn, I thought Lefty was coming out in April. So then when I was like, I said, all right, well, they got it figured out because Lefty is family.
Shout out Left.
Shout out Left, man.
Gunz.
It'd be good to have him on here too. I gotta
he'll come.
I know it. Yeah. So, and quick story about Lefty. See, when you left, I seen you, me and Lefty was like rapping like crazy in fifth period.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. We would rap over Campbell Lucchini beat like every day.
This is it. What?
Yes.
That one?
Yes. Like we would like
Lucchini
I think we had
sky.
raps for it and all. Like me and Lefty used to rap.
Oh man. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's how. So
yeah, man, Left go hard, man.
Yeah, so since we speaking on Left, one of my favorite songs. First off, the album is great, but one of my favorite songs is "With Me." "With Me," and my second favorite song is "Preacher's Kid."
Okay, that's a unique too.
Yeah. So, but "With Me," man, like, and I said this at your release, your listening party, and thank you for having me. Bless the DJ on it. But of course. That energy that you and Nick got, man. Is it an explanation for that? Like what? Like it's because it's crazy. I know it's like y'all friends, and I get that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Y'all basically brothers.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but sometimes you got like brothers, and you like, all right, cool, we brothers on this part, but then like when it come to other stuff, like
we don't mesh.
But y'all. I mean, like, and even on some like other stuff, it's just y'all like right here, like.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
That's crazy. You can't find it in hip hop like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like organic, man. So I'm trying not to tell long stories. I'm trying to think of the short explanation for it. But
man, listen, go for it, bro.
I mean, facts. Lefty and I grew up on the same street. Like we grew up in Palmdale. Their house was on the corner of Burgoyne and Palmdale. Mm-hmm. My parents' house is right down Burgoyne, 9 houses down. So we grew up on the same street. Lefty played drums. I heard you say earlier you talked about the band. I played drums and band. Lefty played drums. DJ Shane taught me how to play marching band drums. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So when he teaching Left, he taught a gang up. So he'll come down the street.
Shouts out to Beehive too.
Yeah, Beehive. All of us, man. Beehive from Palmdale. So it's like this is our real clique. This ain't just music. Mm-hmm. Like this is real family. We grew up in the same neighborhood. Not always been making the right choices. We really on the block. We made moves for real together. As we matured and transitioned out of certain lifestyles, we matured together. Family, kids. Now this is crazy. I'm gonna share this little piece of the story. So Lefty had his home built a few years back. Moved in this area way out. I was staying out near like the Oak Leaf area around that time frame. So he posted his new house on Facebook, right? So I'm like, oh, that's what's up, bro. I got to slide through. He sent me the address. I GPS'd it. It said like 48 minutes. I said, oh. I was like, bro, I was thinking it was closer. I didn't know you was wearing the boondocks. So I'm going to slide through some other time.
Mm-hmm.
And man, so now fast forward a few months later, me and my wife house shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So the realtor showing us houses, and my wife, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. So she said, we got a spec home. It's not done being built. You can kind of specify and get it. Anyway, she can take us to it. My wife loved it. This is the house. This is what we want right here. So we put down the deposit to secure the house. And I'm just looking at the street name, man, and I'm like, why does this street name sound so familiar? So I go back to the Facebook post, and I look at the house on the post, and I look at, now this is like 2 months later, and I call him like, bro, what's your address? He tell me his address, same street. I said, so I look at the address on the mailbox next door. I said, bro, you are not going to believe this shit. I just put down a deposit on the house right next door to you, bro. And everybody think we may have did it on purpose. Man, we had no idea. So our houses are built literally right next door to each other. We are real next door neighbors right now. Grew up on the same street, now we next door neighbors. So it's just like the universe aligns stuff for us, man. So,
that's crazy, man. I remember when I came over when we did Young Me, and I was like, next door, okay, cool. You thinking down the street? Nah, it's like. It's like, yeah, let them be over a minute, and then it was like,
yeah, man,
it was like literally a minute. That shit was crazy, man. But it's crazy how like that was destined, right. And I could just tell through like y'all being around each other and just having conversations, everything you got going on, he supports, and likewise. Right. But it's just cool to see that energy, man. Like I really like champion that, man.
Yeah,
I really champion that. And Lefty is definitely a great musician, MC, whatever.
Right. And then to go back to the group, you know, we were in a rap group as teens. Mm-hmm. He, I, and Lakeitha, Dangerous Mind. Shout out Lakeitha.
Yeah, man.
You know, Lakeitha done stepped back off of the mic
I was about to say,
now,
man,
but
Al,
still,
man, I've been waiting on Al to see what's up, man.
Man, we were at the studio with Lefty recording a song 2 nights ago, man, and I emailed Al a beat. I said, man, hey, I laid the hook with you in mind. I need you to come out of retirement. So he texted me the next day. He like, boy, I'm feeling this hook. So I think on the next album, y'all might hear something from Lakeitha on the next album, man.
Yeah, man.
But the group was the Dangerous Minds, man, and we started as young teens. I actually posted about this a few days ago, earlier this week. You know, we did a remix of a song called Duval.
Yeah.
Trevohn, us, shout out Reggie T. It was his song.
Okay.
And so, man, the song went crazy. The chant that's well known now with the Jaguars, Duval. Yeah. That was our hook. You know, that's what. And so that song inside of Cool Runnings exploded.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Shane, Sap, shout out Shane, shout out Sap, Bigger Rankin, shout out for the opportunity. So as young teens, man, we getting snuck in the club through the back door because we wasn't old enough. Mm-hmm. And we able to open up for artists that he's bringing in town. So the John, we opened up for him, flipped the crowd upside down because we did Duval. He came back and like, who the fuck is that? Yeah. Opening up for us, the crowd. So he was like, that's y'all? Yeah. Every time I come, I need y'all to open up for me. I want to take y'all with me on tour. Nice. So that opened the opportunity with Lil Jon. And then Scarface, I think he came. We opened up for him. He was like, oh my God. So this is when he was getting an opportunity with Def Jam South. So we began to negotiate with him. We had Dwayne with Burroughs. Those of you all who know him, he used to manage us at that time. So he was negotiating for us. It didn't quite go through, but man, we've had we were young teenagers, ain't know nothing about the business side of it, anything else, but that's what showed us, man, that we really had something special that we could, if we took it serious. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think we got lost because we were young and other stuff seemed more important, you know, fast life, distractions, everything else. So I think we really missed the opportunity to break through at that time, but it's all good. It's all good.
Rolling to my next thought. Well, I wrote some notes down, but whatever. We just, like I said, we just rolling to it. Rod and Staff. Speak on that.
All right.
Sound like a lot. Sound like that. You know what I'm saying, from the story that you just said.
So with Rod and Staff, it's a true story.
Oh, it's true story. Okay.
That's a true story. But I added my current wife in it for color. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's a true story, but I added certain elements for the storyline.
Yeah.
But basically, with the song, is to play on Preacher's Son, Rod and Staff on the 23rd songs.
Sure.
Down south, our 5-stick is what we call our pistol at times. I got my stick with me. So I was sitting there like, damn, my stick, my rod, my staff. So that's where the concept came from.
Yeah. I mean, I caught all of it. Of it. And one of my questions, one of my thoughts I had, I was like, but you made it clear when you said it was a true story.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking, I was like, is this like he was speaking from like, are these like general, what is it called, like instincts, like or nervousness or nerves that you have, or? But I mean, you said true story, so
I
question.
went to get gas at a specific gas station, and it was late at night. It was not the best gas station to be at. It's the one that they hang out at. The same storyline, and it was. And they just looked thirsty, man. Like they was waiting on the target, and the way I was dressed, I looked like I had on my button up gear. I ain't have on my street attire, so I may have looked like an easy target for him. But I just we north side all day, so we can observe and kind of see certain movements and gestures. And I'm like, okay, these boys look like they about to try to make that jack move. So let me get my pistol in position, so as soon as they come up, I gotta pop. You know?
Right.
So the dude, it was a dude behind me who looked like he was talking to two other guys who I could actually see. So when I'm pumping my gas, I kind of turned so I could see all three of them. Long story short, the guy behind me, once he kind of moved in and he looked at me, he was like, "Amp," and I still didn't know who he was, but I'm like, he know my name. So I'm like, okay, is it from music? Is it from neighborhood? I don't know. So I just still mean mug, and I ain't move off of it. Then he was like, "Amp, what's up? What is on?" I'm like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" Okay, because I knew who he was then. And he came and told me, he was like, "What? It was about to go down." I'm like, "No, it was about to."
Wow.
Yeah, it was about to go down on you. You ain't know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's just unfortunately that's a boat a lot of people find themselves in, man. And it's Duval, man. It's a unique city. It's a lot that goes down here, and I'm telling that story, I'm thinking about some good dudes who ended up in boats that they had to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And it ain't have to be like that. So
we definitely know a few people.
Yeah.
They had to, unfortunately defend themselves, man, and unfortunately we lost some people.
Yeah.
Lost some good people, which rolls into the next thing. Pray for my city. First off, you guys need to go to YouTube, AMP. Shouts out to RD Music for being the co-director of that.
Yes, sir.
Man, listen.
That man did an amazing job.
So first off,
RD. Shout out RD.
All right, listen. RD don't play around. First off, how long did it take for him to get that video back to you?
Oh man, listen. This is the longest it's ever taken him. First off,
but still,
but before I even say this time frame, but usually anything else he's done for me, he'll have it back next day, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no exaggeration. The very next day, he'll normally have it back. This one, it took it wasn't a week, but it was about 3 to 5 days, man.
Oh, that's good. That's still great. I'm just making a valid point. Trying to throw a little shots real quick, but just as far as because think about it.
That's
like
why I use it, because I know I'm gonna have it back. He's gonna make the changes I need. It ain't gonna be no.
Yeah.
If he give me a deadline, he's gonna meet it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, RD handle business, bro.
He handled business, and it was serious, man. But when I watched the video, I didn't even realize that. I don't even think I realized it until I think I might have looked at the fine print or something like that on the JPEG, and I think it said co-directed by you and RD, and I was like, I was like, it makes sense. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a conversation prior to about as far as just, you know, videography and just the kind of slacking action of it in Jacksonville. But I know the shooters who I need to call. Right. So that's why I asked that question about RD, and I was just like, damn, like, so when I saw that, you know, of course you had direction in it, I was like, yeah, man. Especially that part when you pulled up in that truck and blocked old boy.
Yeah.
I said, I'm telling you, dog, like, first off, and I'm speaking from, and I guess I'm kind of biased on this because I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, I feel real awkward, man. Like, even just hearing you say you a fan, so I haven't gotten comfortable yet having people compliment me, man.
Oh yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, but. The views that you've been getting, the love that you've been getting for that music, I mean, for that particular song, for sure. Well, the album, but specifically for that song, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a major compliment, brother. Like, it's a major compliment, and I'm sure it's going to get more and more and more uncomfortable for you. And that's fine, but I'm here to give you those roses.
I appreciate it.
But, Dad, I'm telling you, that part of the video, I was like, because I saw, like, the promo of it.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, at the end of it, you see him kind of pulling out.
Right.
And but you don't know. But
on purpose right there to not know what's going to happen. Yeah.
So, it's like when I saw the video and I saw that part, I'm like, all right, let's see what this story going to be.
Right.
And it didn't, you would like it was just like the way that the intensity of that.
Right.
Like, it brought so much intensity of it. It just added to and it's funny, the song playing in the background right now.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. But like, yeah, no, it was put together great, and
like
I was
a short movie almost, like a 3
No,
minute.
it is. But I mean, for the song,
right,
and what you're talking about deserves that. It deserves this type of compliment. You know, that type of treatment.
Yeah, man.
I don't expect it. Well, I'm gonna plug my computer. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, when I write music, it's almost as if I see it before I write it. Yeah. And so sometimes, you know, Lefty always tell me, man, you too meticulous, man. You be taking too long to get, but it's almost as if it's not right, if I don't have that vision for it, I just can't do it. I'm not going to just put anything out. And so when I was explaining and sometimes I feel like I'm too far-fetched. So I was explaining it to RJ. I'm like, man, this is where I want to happen. I want this, and this. Can you make this happen? Mm-hmm. He was like, you might have to take this part out. I can't do this. I can't do this. But then once I gave him the vision and he said he could do it, oh, man, he captured it perfectly. Yeah. Because just that drive, the part you're talking about, man, I had to do that like 12 times. So like, really? Man, you driving too slow. So I need you to gun it like you really trying to block it. It's like, don't hit me, though, because he was standing in front of the truck. I literally stopped about 6 inches from him while he's filming to capture that front view of the truck. Yeah. Yeah, so, man, it was just...
It says so much though, man.
To see him bring it to life.
Yeah, the 12 times I'm thankful of it. The city needs to be thankful for it because that's basically the testimony that you saying in the song, right? Like, and that's how I take it. Like I'm telling you, that whole part of the video just shifted. Like that whole block, like because I know people that feel like they want to block these you know that happening, like want to really be protective of it, and that's the interpretation that I got from it.
It's symbolic.
It's symbolic. Yeah. And then when it turned
into the poem.
You in front of the Palmdale store, the infamous Palmdale store, like that was Palmdale, right? Yeah. The infamous Palmdale store, and then having the homies in the back. Yeah. It would just, and then like you like the unbuttoned shirt. Mm-hmm. It was all like it was so symbolic. It was so symbolic for what it is, and I just really pray that Jacksonville gets like behind it, like really, really, really get behind it and like push it. Yeah, it's meaningful, man.
I appreciate it, man. Everybody who's listening, go to YouTube right now. Mm-hmm. Share it with somebody. Post it on your page. Pray for my city, AMP. Like we put out that song means a lot to me. Seriously, like that's how I truly feel. Because I have a very strong spiritual side to me, and I, you know, with my nonprofit, Project Earbud, my goal is to use music to teach the youth how to deal with conflict, violence, things along those lines. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart. The mistakes that we made we don't have to allow our children and our youth to continue down that same path. So I've made it my business to do something about it, not just talk about it, not just post about it, but put action into it and use my gifts that God gave me to do something to try to make a change and be that change.
Man, listen. Son of a preacher, man. I love it. I love it, man. It's so you purposely made this a would you consider this a concept album?
Concept album?
I don't think so. But it
it kind of turned into it once.
But the metaphors is strong. It's strong, brother. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Like it just, I feel like you just kind of, I feel like you sat down, but you didn't like, what's the word you said? Lefty said you was being?
Meticulous.
I don't think he was doing that. I do feel like it's certain technicalities that you did, but I think that's just you being an artist. But
I would say, we came up during the era when hip hop albums did somewhat have concepts where, Kanye West had graduation or labor registration, and his intro would be about college and graduating and things, but every song wasn't on that concept. But, Jay-Z did the American Gangster album, so every song was on that. So, that's the era we came up in with hip hop. So I felt like if this is going to be my title, I do need to have some songs that specifically tie into that title.
Yeah, sure.
So it ended up, a lot of them, Forgive Me, which is the last track on the album, Preacher Kid, Pray for My City.
Brothers Keeper.
Ended up, Brothers Keeper, having a lot of spiritual and biblical connotations to the songs. So I think that also added to the value of this project.
Yeah, definitely.
But the most important part to me was, even though it had that title, I feel like this is the first album that really exposes the multiple facets of myself.
Of course.
The other albums I wasn't able to do that, man. The other albums I couldn't quite figure out, because I'm a lot of things, man, up under one hat, and it sounds weird, and for some people it almost sounds like, well, you don't know who you are, but I'm really comfortable in a lot of places, because at a certain point in my life, and I think it takes maturity to kind of reflect back on it and pull from those times to realize this is the man I am now, and this is how I got here, and I can speak on these subjects not as a spectator, but from my gut, man, because I've been there, and I can paint these pictures so that people who's there right now can feel it.
Yeah. I love it, brother. I love it. That's what I'm saying, dog. I'm trying not to be like this ultimate fan, man. I mean, but I am an ultimate fan. But it's like, but I picked it out. Like, I mean, I everything that you're saying, like I pick up everything. You
saw it.
Yes, I saw it. But see, my thing on my end, I'm like you said, instead of talking about it and like really being about it. Mm-hmm. I have this platform that I've had for years, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. and people are somewhat noticing more about me being the I call it the admin Allen. So I'm being the admin Allen, where I'm just, on more so on the media aspect of it, and just kind of being on the background, kind of seeing how things should roll in the back instead of me being in the front. So I understand like the different hats. I understand like, the upcoming of the albums that you feel like you couldn't say what you want to say in these albums, but now you have the platform to do it. And then the fact that you said the maturity part of it, like maturity versus age action of it, like it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I honor that, because when it comes to like hip hop, it's gonna fall, brother. I think it's gonna fall. Yeah. Hold on, I got you. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, brother. I'm like I study music, man, and I study it more because it comes from like my background, right? Well, my backyard. So. We're not sponsoring Bombay, y'all.
We're just holding up my phone.
Yeah, holding up the phone.
I'm just putting the title in there. This is live, just in case y'all didn't know. So I want to go on Facebook Live and catch some of this interview.
Yeah, man.
Just because, again, being an independent artist, every step of your journey, you need to capture it, so that you can build fans and they can appreciate the storyline, because we talking some good talk, man.
Man, listen. And I feel like a lot of these artists don't even understand that factor of it. I think they just feel like, oh, I can just throw it out on the road and and it get picked up. I'm like,
capture me and you on this camera. I don't know if I'm able to do that.
What's that?
Capture me and you on the camera. I'm gonna move in a little bit.
To my live folks, what's happening? Check it to the one to the. They ain't got to see me. We good. They see the MPN. That's the thing. I'm trying to have people to and see. That's the part I'm talking about. Like I want people to see more of the MPN and the Groove Suite and
there we go,
and the stuff like that. So, but yeah, man. Like the back to what I was saying as far as the fan action of it. Like I'm a massive fan of it, and it's like I understand where that comes from. The you know what I'm saying, the preacher side of it, growing up in the South side of it, being in the band.
Yeah, and that's where the real music I think comes from, man. Like for those of you all who don't know, again, Northside, Reebok High School, we were LP and I were in the band together. He played the horn, I played drums, and
alto sax over here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And we prided ourselves as being real musicians. Mm-hmm. So certain beats, certain tracks, the album gonna have to have music. So anytime you hear AMP, like you gonna know it's real music involved in it, man. I'm a big fan of music. And even before that, man, like I said, son of a preacher man. The majority of blues, jazz, all of that derives from gospel. Mm-hmm. So growing up in the church, man, shout out India Songbird, shout out Selena. I played drums at my pop's church. I quote that in the song. That's part of the hook. So I really am a musician. Mm-hmm. I was playing piano for a short time. Pops took me out of that. He said, that's for the gay boys. Like you can't play piano. He put me on the drums. No disrespect to any keyboard. I wish he kept me in it, because right now we'll be making the dopest tracks imaginable. But at that point, again, church, he saw a lot of the organ players and choir directors were not as masculine as he would have liked to see. Mm-hmm. So he told my mama no. He would not be taking piano lessons. You would not have him playing piano at no church.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up playing drums.
Okay. Yeah. So how did the masculinity part, like, explain that factor of it? Because so for me, I and maybe this will be a little bit easier to answer, but I know for me, like Mr. Buzz was basically my dad, because I didn't have a dad in the house. I stayed with my grandparents, but my granddad was always working. Yeah. So I always had my grandma and my mom, my aunties. I had my brother, my cousins, but we was learning. Yeah. So like we didn't have that. I didn't have that male factor in it, and I feel like that played a major role with a lot of things that I go through now in life. So explain that factor of it, like for you to like say that your dad didn't want you playing, what I'm saying, basically a feminine, what I'm saying, instrument.
Man, my dad, man, Pastor Webster. Shout out to Pastor Webster at Peace Missionary Baptist Church on Rowe Avenue, man. My dad is a very unique individual. He's all man. I was the only boy in the household, so all of the man, he's extremely old school masculine.
Okay.
He was not the type that grew up spiritually his whole life. My dad was an activist. So he used to march, he used to revolt. He prides on telling his old stories. He used to drag race his car. He got jumped by the Boomerang Gang, which is the name of my music company actually, but how he fought the whole Boomerang Gang on Davis Street. Bridget Home, shout out, so my dad grew up right there off 13th and Moncrief. They had a house out east at one point, but he was there in the household. Like I had my dad there in the household. He worked a lot, so as I speak on doing the story, the choices I made and the things I ended up in, I probably shouldn't have ended up in that stuff based on my dynamic. But we grew up in the hood. Yeah. So you're exposed to certain things, people you grow up around, you kind of lean towards what you see and end up making choices that you probably shouldn't make. But my dad, man, he raised me rough. It wasn't no football, basketball, taekwondo. Me and him boxing. He put me on the weights. Like my dad was not raising no soft son. Period. He ain't tolerate that. If you break your leg, boy, you better shake it off. You better walk it off.
Right.
You know.
It's very few of us that in the hood had like their dads and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's like we were the neighborhood house almost. So we had a basketball hoop in our yard. So a lot of the pond, Lefty had a hoop at his house.
Yep.
And we had a hoop at our house. So the neighborhood, Big Daddy, Andre, Spud, Herb, Frog, like the whole Palmdale would be in our yard. And my dad would try to provide them that sanctum to where they ain't have to be in the streets all day. Y'all can come back here and shoot some ball, you know, and not have to be on the block and doing stuff you ain't have to do.
Right.
Even with like GQ and step practice, he was like, y'all can practice at our house. Drums, you can bring them to the house. He was very open with trying to keep the youth at our house because he felt like he could provide a safe environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, my dad, I can't talk about him enough, man. Super smart. You know, he was an IT guy. You know, spiritual, taught me the right way once he made that transition. I remember super young, we had the house party. You know, he had the whole bar on the wall and we was the party house every weekend. But he made a major transformation at one point in his life and it just changed up. So our lifestyle changed up. You know, but outside of my dad, my aunts, my uncles, and all that, man, it's just crazy. I gotta wear that there, man. I got little bank robbers, man, that was like on the news. They was a gang well known all up and down the East Coast. I'm not gonna speak on it because I ain't saying anything, but man, like a string of banks. Those were my like real uncles, you know. Yeah. So they would come and talk to me, and I done went on rides with them. And then I come home and I got a pastor in the house. Yeah. So it was like I could go from my uncle showing me how to cook crack. Like literally giving me the formula and showing me you put in this much, you turn it to this heat, early in the day, and then I get home that evening, and it's like Pops telling me I need to make sure I'm praying that night.
I was about to say Psalms 23. Yeah, straight up.
So I have a very eclectic, man, diverse background, and so that's the part of my music I think that allows me to talk on all of these subjects and do it effectively.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that explains it, man. And again, like I felt like people need to hear this type of stuff. Not, I mean, what you're giving us is what people are hearing, but I feel like that's the platform that I wanted to provide, even, you know, for this body of work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's real big that I'm stuck on the maturity part because hip hop has like this part of ageism that really kills me, and I mean, have you experienced that? Like, have you even felt that? Like the ageism of it? Yeah, because you know hip hop, man. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I forgot the name of your last song. What's the last song? Remember, I told you I felt like the song should be in the middle. Oh, okay. Forgive me. Yeah. So, forgive me. Yeah. Do you? Because hip hop to me, I've definitely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the thing, hip hop, because I feel like the commercial aspect of it, the mass commercial aspect of it, is a lot of the, and again, it's controlled by media, society, and this is what they choose to feed us, is the bitch this, hold that, kill a nigga, sell some dope. Like, they give us that as this is what hip hop is. Mm-hmm. The powers that be. So this is the mainstream hip hop. When there's so much other music out there, but that's not what they choose to push and feed us. So when you got that type subject matter, man, you gonna sound childish. It's gonna only appeal to a certain age group, because once you hit a certain age limit, it's like, I'm not about to, I know what that's gonna turn into already. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been down that path to seeing that movie already. So that storyline is cool to ride to sometimes and vibe, but I can't. We grew up on hip hop that fed us. Tupacs and Outkast and Biggies and Jay-Z's and EPMDs and KRS-Ones and, you know, Rock M's and those type cats that were actually saying something. So to go to now a mumble rap or almost a retarded sounding artist, man, is like, I can't digest that. But my point being, hip hop was birthed in 1978. Mm-hmm. So it was a young genre of music. Now that the artists from that age range have matured and grown up, we now have an adult subject matter. Mm-hmm.
We have an adult mentality. So that's what my music caters to. And there's been no artist, I think, that targets specifically to that demographic of listener. So right now, I feel like it's comfortable to put out this type of music because there's a lot of people in our age range now to 35 plus that listens to hip hop music, that listens to rap music. That's what my content is about. Hey, my boss, we talking about jobs. We ain't talking about being in the trap. We talking about you got dreams and goals, and your job is an obstacle that tries to hinder you from doing that.
All right.
So, you know, grown man rap is what I'm on right now, grown man music, and I feel like it's going to be appreciated by the grown man. I'm not trying to talk to the jits. I'm trying to talk to the grown man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, certain songs, you know, hip-hop is also a sport. Hip-hop is like boxing and sparring. So sometimes, just so they know that you can do certain things lyrically, I may speak on it, go a certain route and play on it, but ultimately the body of my work is grown man rap.
Man, listen. And I support that grown man rap all day, brother. And I'm saying that outside of the fact of us being, you know, the ages that we are. But I do feel like hip hop has this ageism thing. A lot of people don't speak on it. That's why I asked you that question. And I feel like if I could target one thing, well, that's a lot of things I could target in hip hop. But one of them that just really bothers me is the ageism aspect of it. And I'm thinking like the top like 5 or 10 of the best rappers, the top 10 rappers now are, you know what I'm saying, 35 plus.
Right. Yeah. Real rappers.
Yeah. Real rappers. Yeah. Like 35 plus, 40 plus probably. So, I mean, but nevertheless, I'm like, that bothers me. And it's like, y'all people don't understand that it's like a story that you can tell. Like, it's a story that can be told. I even feel like this album definitely can be listened to by somebody in their 20s or stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely like a rule book. It's almost like the Bible that, you know what I'm saying, it's the 2020 Bible, if that makes sense. Black man's Bible, so to say.
That's dope. I never looked at it as that.
Man, it's definitely that, man. Like, I mean... Again, I'm not gonna fan out of it, bro.
No, man, don't do that, bro. Don't do that, man. But I mean, don't do that, man.
I'm gonna make sure I post this clip because
come on, man, don't do that, bro.
Because AFP is over here like geeking. He's like, man, I don't know what to do. But no, man, it's brotherly love. It's brotherly love, black love, hip hop love. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm biased about this because of where we came from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we come from like riding the same buses to, you know what I'm saying, to play.
Yeah.
And getting on that field, and Mr. Buzz was like, look, I don't like y'all doing this stuff, but if you're gonna do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do it.
Right.
All the way from that to where we at, you know what I'm saying? Raising kids and being able to like hold like actual like content.
Yeah.
And the levels that we're at and overall just being here.
Yeah, and being able to somewhat shape the youth and also help shape the culture here in this market.
Which is a reflection of your pops. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a tremendous story about your pops, about being an activist and like doing the whole transitional part. And I mean, but nevertheless, but the earbud factor. Like that's a reflection of what you got from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you got from, you know, from growing up and seeing what your pops did, man. And so, you know, who left that long message? Let me see. What that long message say?
That's Sharon. What's up now?
I just see words.
So it says, yes, the genre has changed. You got to sing out of the box. The generations has changed, and so has the dynamics. Fred Amp Webster brings it to a flourishing audience who welcomes his delivery. I know that's right, Sharon Johnson.
Straight up.
Might need to let you write me a bio or something. That was some poetic license right there.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. I know this your podcast.
Nah, that's cool, man. Listen, this is dope.
Cheddar Chase, what up? Alicia Holloway. I don't even know how to be able to see everybody who on here.
Yeah, my cousin Ben jumped on. Shouts out to Ben James.
Mike Brown, I see you. Ben James, Gwen. I don't know how to work this, man.
Well, speaking of delivery, let me say one of my favorite lines on here. I'm just a boy from the hood trying to get this dough. Who's gooder than me, Cuban nigga? Come on, brother.
Yeah, man. I got a cousin text me that line as well, like last week.
Man, that line's stupid.
Yeah, I'm just a boy from the hood trying to get this dope boy who gooder than me. Cool. That's on that song with me and Listen.
Yeah.
But I'm on the song with Left, man. Like you gonna have to have your bar game up. Cause Lefty gonna bring them.
Yeah.
So that's what me and Lefty enjoy doing, man. Is really creating the art out of the words and having triple entendres going on so that it's not just about hearing it one time. You catch a line later like, oh.
Yeah. And shouts out, hold on. So let me do, shouts out to my cousin Ben, James Williams. I don't know if he's still watching or whatnot, but so it was a story, quick story, for my people that don't know. AMP, Lefty, C-Fred was on Young Me on my last album, my last Mr. Peterson's Neighborhood in 2018. I really wanted to get them boys on the song together, and I'm glad that Young Me did what it was supposed to do. Of course, I want to do like way more, but I remember my cousin Ben said, matter of fact, Ben, and shouts out to Peanut too, because part of the your video was shot at his store.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Peanut, man.
Musa Mart. Yeah. Shout out to Musa Mart. Y'all go and support that, man. Black owned business, black owned store in our community. Go support it.
In our community, man. Shouts out to Goat. Yeah, man. Like holding it down as well. But it was funny, both of them was like, you know, when it comes to hip hop, man, you know, niggas be like, It'd be like, man, this nigga got washed on the song that third. So technically speaking, like, you know what I'm saying? My brother, shouts out to my brother Whiskey Pete, that's his best friend Peanut.
Okay.
And they run together. Okay. And then my cousin Ben, who I grew up in the house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So both of them niggas, it's brothers.
Brother cousin.
But both of them came to me, it was like, man, nigga, AMP like washed everybody on that damn song. And in my mind, I was like, I don't care, because I'm from the hip hop aspect of it. I don't give a shit about that competition stuff. As long as you, that's why I remember you was like, you came to me and said, man, I don't know about. I said, man, if you want to cut it for the, I was like, man, I don't care about that.
Exactly.
I was like, because I don't care about that. I'm like, nigga, like that's how you get down.
Listen, I'm gonna say this for Al Pete, man. Al Pete is a stand up guy, because number one, I didn't watch him. I had more bars than everybody on the song. So if you're able to rap longer, you're able to get more out.
Yeah.
But he specifically said, no, man, I want you to shine on this song. Your verse too dope to cut. And he gave me that license to have that long verse on his song. So, you know, shout out to
I think people was
man.
paying attention to that as far as like the long verse. I feel like that's what it was, But
when you're an artist, man, sometimes with the artist about what makes the best song. And so Lefty, he's that same way. It's been a few songs on his albums, because I don't think most people know this or not. I haven't put out an album in 10 years. That Q45 album was 10 years ago, bro.
Really?
That was 10 years ago. So the only time people have even heard me on the mic was on Lefty's albums. So on I Am Legend, we did a song, We All We Got. He let me bless the song. He was like, go off.
I remember that, yeah.
Said, I want you to go off. He said, snap on it. Mm-hmm. So again, he wanted that on his song, and he realized that made the best song, man. So sometimes it's about the culture and the message you trying to get across, man. It's a competition subtly, but you know, he got songs that he snapped and shined on too, so it makes the best music. Mm-hmm. It's about the music and the culture.
And that's cool, like Lefty does that. Like, I mean, I understand, like, when Lefty does an album, he does an album, but when he's on somebody else's track, it's not necessarily a thing where he's like, let me just shine. Because most rappers get that confused. They're like, okay, well if I'm going to be on somebody else's track, I need to shine. Like, I'm like, nah, compliment the song.
Right. And
I felt like the subject that we was on was definitely a compliment what you did. And that's mainly the reason why I was like, nah, we can't cut that. I was like, nah, brother, I ain't finna cut that. I ain't doing that. It flowed perfectly, brother. Like, I'm just not even finna even get down like that, you know? So, yeah, I mean, but nevertheless, yeah.
About to have to cut y'all off, y'all. My phone about to die.
So shouts out to the
Jay Will.
Yeah, that's James Will, yeah, my cousin.
Sherry White.
Jay Will, what's happening? My cousin too. Like these my brothers. Like, we grew up in the house together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they my mom and their dad is brothers and sisters like that type of love. So for Ben to say what he said, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna let you slide on that, my nigga.
No, man, y'all can't never sleep on LP, man. Listen, LP, I love your vibe, brother. But I tell you that all the time. Like we need to do more music because, again, hip hop has multiple facets, and I feel like what's held Jacksonville back is that we've always tried to only go that trap gangster route and only show that element, man. And you can't really be respected as a real music market if you're that flat. If you're one-dimensional, you won't get the respect that you need as a city, man. Real metropolitan areas, you can get everything out of there. So I feel like, you and this again, I'm not gonna start naming artists because I'm gonna leave some out. But man, Jacksonville really has so many different styles and sounds. And again, man, we're trying to create it. But as soon as someone with the pockets, whoever y'all can share this with, as soon as someone with the pockets, man, decides to invest and cultivate the entertainment industry, this city is going to explode. Period. Yeah. And it struggled for so long with even downtown. Everybody was like, First Baptist run downtown. They can't have a nightlife there. You can't do this. You can't do that. They tore down the landing. There are certain obstacles, but man, somebody with enough money decide to say, hey, I'm going to create this opportunity for music and entertainment here from Jacksonville. Man, this game over, bro, because the talent here. Yeah. Shout out cousin Eric. Bernard B, what's up, my brother?
Yeah, shouts out to Bernard B, man.
Bernard B.
All right, so
Eric Vance.
2 more things I want to speak on. We're definitely gonna have to have you back, man. And a lot of conversations that we'll have definitely be off camera or whatever. Speaking of shouts out, because I want to close it with speaking on Brothers Keeper. We'll get into that. But shouts out to the people that was on the album. Terrence Pickett, Gene Dot, Diallo, India, yes, Lefty, the singers, and the singers.
Louis Baby was on the hook for With Me and also the hook for Team Us. Okay, he's a very dope young artist I'm doing work with now, so he'll have an album out soon.
Okay, cool.
Singles was really just India, Songbird, and Terrence Pickett.
Okay. So who was the person on the skit? Before the Hate My Boss joint.
Before the Hate My Boss joint? Oh, that was my son.
Okay. That was
that was my oldest son.
Well, I saw Webster and I was like, I understand.
Shout out Trevohn. Man, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but man, I recorded this album in my son's closet, basically, man. Okay. Eventually I converted it into a full studio, but what's the song? Rod and Staff, my youngest son, Gabriel, actually engineered that song for me. I showed him how to get on Pro Tools and hit the record button, hit the stop button, man, because I record myself, so having to run back and forth, I'm like, listen, man, I can't keep doing this. You about to learn how to do this right quick. All you gotta do is boom, boom, boom. And then on that part in the background, when the guy was like, Amp, that's you? That's my other son, Eric. So he's doing my background vocals. Shout out Lil E. So he's in high school. So yeah, man, these my kids, man. Monty, shout out to him. I'm going through all of my kids. Fredriana, she home right now, don't feel too well. Monty at UF, shout out to you. And Trey, Curie, Gabe, the whole Webster cartel.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? The Webster cartel.
Cool. And the production on the album?
Marco Williams. Shout out Marco, man. He's my not all of them, but he's my primary producer. I think he did about 6 of them. Okay. 6 or 7 of them he did. I'm gonna go through all of the names first. Shout out MGeezy. He did my intro for me. Okay. Shout out MGeezy. You know you gotta holler at Jeezy, man, if you're here in the city doing music.
Jeezy probably go here. He go watch his podcast and probably be like, man, Al Pete don't want to mess with me, bro. He already, because when I say that, he already know. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So shout out MG. Got a gang of tracks from him, man. The songs just ain't came out yet, so I got some real heat from MG that's gonna be coming out soon. Hate My Boss, some of my main singles, Marco did it. So Hate My Boss, let me see. Brothers Keeper, Faux Classic, what's up, bro? Think he down in South Florida. With me was Marco. Team Muss, Marco. I think Marco made it out of himself 3, and then forgive me, I got that from a cat overseas.
Okay, right.
And that's it. Those are the only guest producers. Everything else was Marco Williams, man.
Shouts out
right
to Marco,
here,
man.
Young cat, talented cat. Also the one that did Young Me with me, you, Lefty, and C4 on it. So talented cat, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the homie.
I would love to do more work with him, man. But we'll get that together. So we're gonna close this out, man. Groove Sweet Podcast. Thank y'all so much for listening. Before we go, we have to kind of get kind of deep or whatever. Kind of deep.
All right.
Brothers Keeper, man. The man. Oh. Like
All right, shit.
I heard it, and I saw Gene. I saw Gene and his reflections of it. You know what I'm saying? And I know how important O was to me. And then, like, when I say me, I mean I'm at the bottom. I feel like I'm at the bottom of, like, I mean, even though he loved me a lot, and I have that relationship with him that a lot of people just don't know about, because we've had plenty of conversations.
Right.
Like, plenty, like, and I felt like he talked to me the way that he talked to me in private, because that's what I needed. He couldn't talk to me like how, like, I be hearing stories about how he would, like, cuss people out. And
So you ever had that experience? Are you serious?
nah, but we've had conversations like when I hear people talk about it, the in-depth conversations that y'all have had, I've had them, but it wasn't to that level. Right. He always caught me like, I remember he said, Al, you like, he said, Al, you like the Andre 3000 of, like, Jacksonville. He was like, you just don't fuck with a lot of shit. Like, you come in and do some stuff, and then you kind of go in your little hole, and you don't really get into the politics of things. You kind of just want to sit in your little world. And first off, I was kind of offended. Because I'm like, if you're gonna compare me to anybody in Outkast,
you want to be Big Boy.
I need
you
to
always been a fan of Big Boy,
I need
man,
to be
since
Big
high
Boy.
school. Listen, this guy LP is the only guy in the world that will say Big Boy cannot rap under 3,000.
Everybody, their mama be like, Andre thought, and I'm coming to capture Big Boy.
Like,
Big
shout
Boy.
out to both of them, man.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite rap group of all time. Andre 3000 is my favorite rapper of all time. So, shout out to those guys, man.
Yeah. So
amazing artists, man.
So when he said that, I was like, all right, cool. I don't like it, but ever since then, we would have conversations on, like, away from everybody. So I have, like, that relationship that a lot of people just don't know about.
Right.
So I know what he meant for me. I know what he meant to Gene. I know what he meant to the community. Speak on, like, what he meant, like, for you, because you mentioned a lot of people in that verse that about Orion. You mentioned oh my God, the Spinal Limb Turner. God damn it.
CTO
Studios. Everybody, like, I remember being in that bitch.
Man, CTO was like our version of, like, Patchwork.
Yes.
Bad Boy, Death Row. It was
Patchwork.
An iconic studio in the city, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sykes, the Super Dave, man. And he built, a label, a real business entity. And that was my first time to see someone, from the streets, but that serious about music on the business side of it. Ken Mumford, Orion, Fat Chick, Wayne, just so many people he had under his umbrella, and all of them had specific roles. And Orion had been to college and had a degree in business and all that. He really ran it like a true legitimate business, had them boys training, and everyone knew their role. And he was buying the stages and the vans wrapped, and he actually had a call center inside of the studio. Like, he gave me a tour and sat me down, like, this is our plan for this is our plan for that. And he had a real organized plan. That's what helped me see. A rumor has it he was offered a deal from Bad Boy that they turned down because they knew that they were more valuable than the deal that he offered. That was unheard of during that time, man. Producers, in-house, things like that. So I was in awe, just seeing that being done on that level in Jacksonville, and know that Orion, he was a big part of the business side of it. But ultimately his initial passion for music. So that's kind of where we rekindled, because the storyline tells it. I met him earlier as like a teen, and we knew of each other. He went to Reigns, I went to Ball. We had friends that were mutual friends from Palmdale, but he and I had never actually hung out a lot. So at that point, we began to bond on the music aspect, and so he would just pull me aside and started out just pouring into me and trying to offer advice, and like, man, listen, I be around these rappers, you're different. You really got, like, I heard the song you wrote for so, and at that time I think I was writing for a girl. And he was like, you wrote these songs? Like, you wrote a song about her getting abused by a dude. Like, how you wrote that and made it sound so real? And I'm like, she told me the story, and I saw that he was like, that's a gift, man, to be able to do that. So he just kind of opened it up and showed me that I'm more than just the average rapper. And that I understand songs and writing. So, fast forward life, we crossed paths on like 100 levels, man, and he just eventually over time became my big bro, man, seriously. And so from family and children and everything else, and he has an illness that my daughter has, who's homesick now, actually. So he became her mentor, he was Uncle O to her. So giving her the healthcare tips and experience. She's had a lot of near-death experiences he had as well. So he was explaining to her what to change in her diet, what to tell the doctors, what they need to try, what we need to do as parents to help keep her in a certain place. So she really appreciated it. Every time she got sick and was in the hospital, he would be right there. He would come every single time. And at one point, she may go in the hospital about 12 to like 20 times per year. And every single time he would come by and see her. So we just grew into like a brotherly love, and he would begin to share what the things he would like to do in the city, and he began to doing the old school rewind events and things like that, and I saw he can pull things in and network. But he had a certain rough side to him, man, where he would rub a lot of people the wrong way and spaz out and all that, the side that you didn't see. That's what made O unique, man. Like, if he rolled for you, he would go all in. He would go all in, man. So I felt like I owed him that song to really help show how influential he was with me. Like, he's the reason I did this album. I was done with music, period. Completely done. And he would constantly say, bruh, you need to do an album because you have something to say. And the people are ready to receive what you have to say right now. And only you can say it like it need to be said. You got to do an album. And he was on me, like, got to do an album. And when he died, it wasn't like it was an illness or anything that lingered, like we knew he was about to pass. I had just saw him a few days earlier, so it was a sudden death. So just that week, he was on me about, bro, start on your album. So it took years for it to come about, but I felt like I owe him that, man, and he's the reason this album, Son of a Preacherman, is out right now because of Orion Benjamin Reddick.
Word. Say word.
Yeah.
Say word, man. Goddamn old man. That was a heavy song, man. I remember listening to it. Well, the first time I heard it was in the midst of everybody. Was listening to it for the listening party, yeah, because I only got through half of the album by myself. But I listened to it again, man. I just realized, like, I just really wish that he was here, man. I mean, selfishly said, I wish that he was here because, I mean, he put a fire up under everybody. And it was funny because, like as much love that he gave, the much, like, tough love he gave. And I felt like I still feel like to this day that people need that type of tough love that O was giving.
That brutal honesty,
brutal
man.
honesty, you know. Like I mean, like because it's all right. I might go on a deep end on this, but I don't care.
Go there, brother.
I feel like so. Remember when Martin got killed, when Malcolm got killed? I feel like it was that impact of O leaving because of that. Because like when he left,
it's like who's gonna fill these shoes?
Nope. Yeah.
Right. He definitely had a certain place in the community, and his arms were so long, man. He was influential on so many people. Like even this is no exaggeration. Just this morning, shout out on Kevin Sawyer, man. He just posted this morning, man, and that he just realized I was talking about O in that song. Mm-hmm. Like people would come on my timeline and be like, "Oh man, I remember O." So just the people so far away and the amount of people he just gave one word of encouragement to. The time he went off on them, they remembered that and it helped direct their trajectory in life. He had that type impact.
Yeah.
Where going back to college or not, conversation with O, okay, let me sign up in college. Like you're gonna go and do it. Should I get married or just keep staying in the house with this chick? Conversation with, me stop playing, man. I need to go ahead and handle business. He would literally inspire you to make life-altering decisions.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And to put a spark and to be a catalyst, man, to do things that you would normally sit around and perpetuate.
For sure.
And he would always tell me, like, man, this is how I got to live. I don't know how long I got here. Everything to me is a sense of urgency. Because he was telling me, like, bro, you got to chill. Like, you going to make me slap shit at you one day, bro. Like,
but I love that, though. I love that.
But like, sometimes it was overbearing, bro. It was overbearing at times, man. Well, maybe because chill.
I get that. But I know for me, for years, I've been in that mode. Like, I'm not totally in, like, O mode. But like as far as
he
like
has a different gear with it, man.
Yeah. Oh no. He had gear 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I probably was at 4, and I now I feel like I'm at 5 now. Yeah. But like I remember when I did like after the whole the shit that me and Gene glossaries.
Okay.
So when all that faded out, I went through my little phase or whatever, and then that's when Miss Peter's Neighborhood started.
Okay.
I felt like I was walking in the dark. I felt like I was like, I'm starting kind of brand new because everybody knew me for Rewind Old School, Tweet Up, Face Up, that he started. All the stuff that he started. I mean, it started or it was like heavily impacted in. I was a part of it.
So like, the Fly Socks and Tees come out of what? Mr. Peter's Neighborhood. Okay.
But see, a lot of that stuff I have to cater to him.
What, Fly Socks and Tees?
Mr. Peter's Neighborhood, all that. Every last, this didn't happen. Like after everything passed away, like the glossaries, Rewind Old School, that whole run.
Puppy Love Smoke, all that.
All that. When all that died, I was like, I was in this like hole, and then I made Fish in the Forest album, and that's when I was like coming out of this like extremely dark ass hole. It's like 2012, but then I got inspired to create my own thing, Miss Peter's Neighborhood. In the midst of all of that, Orion would be like he would pop up at like each and every of my event.
Okay.
Like clockwork. Because I knew what I was going through. Like everybody was used to seeing me and Gene. Everybody was used to seeing me and Arrow. Like all that. Me and Orion, like all of us, we ran in that shit like for years. Like every time you turn around, Glossary. Every time you turn around, Rewind Old School. Papa Love Smoke, all that. So it dies, and then I'm just like this only person over here. Yeah. But O was the only person out of like that whole like sector. Like when I say sector, meaning like Rewind, I mean like shouts out Bernard B too. Bernard B was I wouldn't diss him at all, and I dissing anybody else like Gina, anybody else. Yeah. But like Orion would like make his presence, and he would always say he was proud of me every time. And maybe that's probably why cause I was like I got to find something to do. So MPN started. Shortly after that, a year later, Groove Suite started. And then like I was like moving. So every time he saw me doing something, he would just show his face.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to like. Maybe that's probably why he didn't like come at me the way that he came at everybody else. Now, I mean, I don't know, but I didn't get that. Actually, that Saturday before he passed, he came to Fly Socks and Tees.
Damn.
Like I literally, I had to like stop him from talking real quick and switch a song. Like man, because like a song was playing, he walked up on stage, and he looked at me and was like, "What's up, bro?" And I was just like, "Oh, what's up?" You know, like, and we hugged like so hard, like always. He said, "Man," and he just looked at the crowd, and it was by that year it was like 500 plus easily. Yeah, this is before you came. We did Young Me. No, that was like 2 years before that. Dog, he looked out the crowd, was like, "Man, I'm so proud of you, bro. Yeah. I'm so proud of you." And I was just like, "Man, it's because of you." And you know, we just talking. We having a dialogue on stage,
right in the midst of the event.
And I was like, "Oh, let me switch the song real quick." So the song playing, everybody still going. So me and him like having a dialogue, like talking like regular. And then you know, unfortunately, like that next week, you know, he left us. But oh man, like I mean, he had so many like different sides about him, but all of it was lovable. Mm-hmm. All of it was respected, and we don't have that in Duval again, man. We don't have that in Duval, and I wish we did.
And now I'll say this last thing about my project. Lefty Gunz really took on that role with this album. Like I don't know if people knew. I put it in my credits. He was the A&R of this album.
Okay.
He said it, y'all. My man thought he was joking because he clowned all the time.
You know what? Lefty joke all the time. That's why I didn't know credits.
That. He's the actual A&R for this album. So what songs we took off, what songs we kept, the order of the songs. I mean, obviously I'm an artist and I'm stubborn, so some stuff we'll go back and forth about. But ultimately, you know, Left was the A&R and decided on what songs what songs I need to re-record, what songs need to be rearranged, what verses need to get cut short. Like he really was hands-on with this project a whole lot. And when he took on that role, he told me, like, man, I'm finna be the O. So and that's the role I'm beginning to take on for his project. I am Legend 2, because when it's someone else is different versus when it's your own music.
Yeah, for sure.
So you need that outside tough love to hold you to a certain standard and not allow you to compromise on your music. But man, like he really channeled the inner O. Text 2-3 in the morning, call to me, like he was really playing my music, and I think that's why he goes so hard with helping pushing and everything else, man, because really I couldn't have done it without him on this level, because sometimes I didn't have the inspiration, because it's like, for what?
Yeah.
You know?
Shouts out to Lefty for taking the old road.
Yeah, man.
That's but you know what, Lefty, I can see Lefty in that. I'm sure a lot of people probably was like, yeah, he probably joked too much, but he's a musician, bro. Like I know I can tell Lefty is like a detailed musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows music, and he knows between the music part and just having a relationship with like you, the community, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That plays a role in it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think just seeing what the same thing I say in the song, having that vision to know what the artist can do and what the artist could be. Because sometimes, like, I feel like this verse cold. Mm-hmm. Like, that ain't good enough, bro. Like, you need to rewrite that. I'm like, what? Hey, this is caliente. What did you talk about? He would, you know, it's straight, but it's, you need to take this in somewhere else. Like, you are like, this your album, bro. You gotta. And he would push me, you know, like it'll put a flame up under me. I'll be offended and everything, but it'll make me go back, oh, let me write something to show this nigga what it is. Yeah. You know, but that's that tough love again.
Yeah.
And so even sometimes I'm too passive about that with him, because once you kind of are a fan of a person or respect their sound and their music, it's like, man, you an artist, bro. I can't tell you what to do with your art, but you're like, nah, bro, like push me to be the best me I can be.
Yeah.
And that's what we do for it.
And I kind of, it's funny because when I hear these conversations about, on the real, I feel like I really feel like I wish he would did that stuff with me.
Yeah.
Being the tough love, and I mean he gave us tough love,
but I feel like all the way in on you.
Yeah. And I just feel like a lot of people that I respect actually don't do that with me. And I feel like because they feel like I build everything from kind of like ground up, and I ain't really had nobody that say, "Oh, hey, Al, here's this." Like I kind of work for everything.
Yeah, you earned it. You built
I earned it. So it's like, I mean, even to my real pops, like, he wasn't really around. I mean, he wasn't around, but I mean, well, no, he was around, but like he wasn't around when I needed him around.
Okay.
So like, we have conversation. It's kind of hard for us to have a relationship because I'm sure he probably see a lot of things that he probably would. He's a wise man. Mm-hmm. But he does not give me that information because I think he feels like, okay, well, you raise a kid, you had custody of your son,
right?
You raised him. I didn't do that to you, so you know what I'm saying. It kind of puts me in that. It puts him in that level. Like, well, what I'm gonna say to him?
What can I tell you? Yeah,
I think a lot of people feel like that with me. Outside of me being just a stern ass guy, but
right.
Yeah.
But there's still certain jewels that you feel like, you know what, I may need to put me on that next level. Yeah.
That I mean, to this day.
That's introspective there, brother.
To this day. Nobody won't ever say it, and that's why, I asked you about your dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's, I feel like just having a dad there mattered.
Yeah, I feel like what my dad, the biggest thing he gave me was work ethic, man. My pops go. He goes, man. He like build a house from scratch, build a computer from scratch. Like he pop up early in the morning and go hard till it's nighttime. And so I think that's where my work ethic came from, because I constantly have to balance, work, music, family, everything else. Like when I'm in go mode, I'm in go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You can sleep when you're dead. So I really got a real hustle in me, man, that I think some people don't have and wouldn't be able to balance and juggle all the things that I have to juggle. And so I look forward to being able, my goal, man, is to be able to do this music thing full time and create the opportunities for people that we talking about building here in this city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I want. If I can reach that point, or when I reach that point, when we reach that point, then I feel like I have a sense of accomplishment. Until that happens, man, I'm on the grind, brother.
And that's the same way O felt. I feel like that's the same way O felt. Like I feel like he was trying to get to that level.
Yeah.
And we're reflective of it. I miss O, man.
Real talk.
I miss O. Straight up. So shouts out, rest in peace to him. Shouts out to his kids, his family, and such community. So yeah, man, that was a heavy one. That's why I left it at the end, man.
You done shifted the whole mood of the interview, man.
Nah, man, we picking it back. Well, we done, man. We done, man. Amp, thank you so much, brother, for coming through.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man.
MPN,
yeah, man.
MPN Nation, man. Y'all support this.
Yeah,
support
man.
this. Support this. We need this. We need this. We need this. I can't say it. I can't emphasize it enough. Man, you are needed in this community, brother. Everything you're doing is needed in this community. Man. So soon as this come out or whatever date is going, let me know so I can blast, man.
Yeah, we're gonna blast it, man. What do you want to? Do you have a song that you want to play for the end of this? I usually play it in the middle, but the conversation was great. The conversation was great.
Let me see. We sent them to look at "Pray for My City" already.
Yeah.
I guess I got to go with the song I feel like is the strongest. "Ain't My Boss," man.
Yeah, man.
It has a unique sound to it.
I love that song. I love it. I remember you let me hear it when I was, like I said, when I was still working for like the man. I remember I heard, and I was just like I said, it was around the time I was about to leave. It made that jump to like finish my degree, and I heard that song, and that definitely added to it. It definitely added to it, brother. I was like, this is a great song, but this definitely makes me feel a lot better for about what I'm about to do.
Yeah, man.
But I definitely feel that, people need to listen to it, man. And hopefully the managers that listen to this understand like the positions that you're in when you're in a managerial position.
Right. And I think Left, man, he captured the essence at the listening party. That it's not just about hating your boss, because it's, that's the name of the song. That's what we feel when we're in those 9-to-5 corporate environments. But like I said, the contrast to it is that you love your dream, really.
Yeah.
So that you love what your passion is and what you're pursuing so much. Music, media, art, whatever you love doing, you can't become a slave to that job and you can't lose hope for that dream. But the other thing is that everybody answers to somebody, and you've had that feeling. Like he said, the athlete hate his coach. He said his son coach name. You know, when you got to run them laps and train and all that, you know it's needed, but he hate his coach. The dope boy hate the plug because he constantly calling, hey, when you going to have the money? It's like whoever you have to answer to is your master. He creates a disdain for him. So that song speaks to that little place inside everybody, regardless of what facet of it you're talking about. Everybody's felt that feeling, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like, so we gonna roll out with that song, "Hate My Boss," man. Make sure you go plug in. Listen to the album, man. Plug into it, man. Listen to the Son of a Preacher Man, AMP, man. Any last words you want to give to the people real quick before we sign out?
No, man. I appreciate you all, man, streaming it, downloading it, sharing it, everything that you all are doing. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram, AMP The Pen on Facebook. That's THAAMP first name, THAPEN, The Pen, THAPEN. Instagram, same name, AMP space THAPN on Instagram. I gotta get my Twitter game and all that stuff up, but man, follow me. I'm gonna continue to bring y'all some dope music. Again, grown man rap, grown man lane, real music. Can't let it die.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man. Y'all heard it, man. Please go listen to it. It's Mr. Al Pete, the Groove Sweet Podcast. Thank y'all so much, man. I didn't even say my little phrase. We are bike. We are bike for my Duval folks.
Bike.
But I usually say that when I go from break and then come back. I'm like, we are bike, Duval style, but we are back for the world. So nevertheless, man, y'all be great. Y'all be good to the top, man. Yes, sir.
All right. Blah, blah, blah.
But you got dreams, though. Just follow me. Listen, when I go to work, man, I be about to go berserk. Feel like a slave because I'm underpaid and overworked. It's barely past 8, already got a headache. I need to medicate, take FMLA. My boss despicable, he treat me like a minion. A peon, he don't respect my opinions. Yet and still, he steal all my ideas. Email the executives and pitch them like they his. Good morning, Fred. What's so good about it? I try to play it cool, but y'all gon' bring the hood about me. I might take my paycheck and buy weed, flip it in a week, trying to make ends meet. I don't know Meek Mill, but I'm a dream chaser. With my boss and these bills, they some dream erasers. They pissing on me, telling me it's raindrops. After the mind games, then the migraines start. Hey, my boss. These motherfuckers really try to piss me off. I say I hate my boss. These motherfuckers really try to piss me off. I hear boss doing layoffs. They send the niggas home quicker than Milwaukee in the playoffs. Severance package, more like a payoff. Damn, Craig, you're getting fired on your day off. I got a show Friday, I can't even go. I'm on final one and I ain't got no PTO. And I just wanna go bust a little flow. I just wanna sing a song from my soul. They just wanna stick me in the cubicle. Make me answer phones like everything is beautiful. Like advancement ain't really who you know. Know how it go, I done seen it all before. My boss barely got his GED. How does he make 3 times more than me? AMP, a kinda hot boy / rapper like Master P. Went back to school, couple classes for my master's degree. Y'all ain't the master of me. My boss, for real. These motherfuckers really try to piss me off. Yeah, say I hate my boss. These motherfuckers really try to piss me off. Your dreams don't work unless you do. So if the milk spill, you still can't boo-hoo. Find a boo-hoo, hustle the way you do. Not on the corner, bro, that's out of style, boo-boo. Record your own show, upload it on YouTube. And who knew, it might get picked up by Hulu. Make it a family hustle, T.I. Tiny. I'm kinda glad to hear things working out with want you to. But that's proof too, things don't go like you planned it. But damn it, you can still rule the planet. And if the urn is burning like a blunt, you gotta fan it. And if you still standing, you can stand it. When we was kids, Spud got shot in the legs. He was still thugging, dunking 2 hands in 8th grade. See what I'm trying to say, don't let circumstances control you. You can grow mold or you can let it mold you. Cause real bosses turn their team into bosses. We celebrate the win and learn lessons in the losses. Remember when I couldn't afford a Honda Accord? Now it's houses on the water, Tom Ford in the closets. I'm going through a draw for making constant deposits. I used to order bottles, they would bring them with the sparkles. We missed the brown and white until we all felt nauseous. Now I can't ball in Bugattis till my kids finish with college. Cause I'm a boss. Hey, man, that's our boss's thing.
The Groove Suite podcast has been brought to you by Mr. Penis's Neighborhood and The Groove Suite, powered by 92.7 The Beat and Hip Hop and Hookah. Make sure you stay in tune with us on our socials, on Instagram and Twitter at The Groove Suite, and on Facebook, The Groove Suite Podcast. If you want to email us some music, tell us that you like us, email us at groovesweetjacks@gmail.com. New things, new things, new things. New vibe, new soul, all that. Thank you to everybody who supports us, rock with us, and vibe with us. The Groove Suite.